It's been over 2 years since we last saw a Hytale image or even a piece of gameplay. And well, the Hytale team has finally broken their silence. In today's video, we're going to be going over the new Hytale blog post, which contains new gameplay, new images, and new updates from the team. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. Hey, before we get into the rest of the video, do you want to dive into the Hytale universe with Hytale News? Are you craving the latest scoops on game updates, community creations, and insider tips? Well, look no further. Hytale News is your one-stop destination for everything Hytale. We dive into the latest updates, explore community masterpieces, and bring the Hytale universe closer to you. Join our Hytale-related Discord community with the link in the description below. To begin the blog post, the team opens with, "Hello, in today's development update, we'll be sharing perspectives from the team on the progress we've made in the first half of 2024. These include a first glimpse of our in-development new engine and an overview on the way we're structuring the development of the game from 2025 onwards. We'll also provide more details of our plans for creator outreach and, of course, show off another reimagined Orbis faction." To kick us off, here's Hytale's executive producer, John Hendricks. "I am happy to report that the team has been on track since our winter 2023 development update. It's been a year since we brought our shiny new engine in-house and started the process of integrating the bespoke systems and workflows we need to build Hytale. As we mentioned in our winter update, the first half of 2024 has been focused on finishing that process and transitioning our creative teams into the new engine. The rest of that year continues that mission, accumulating an internal milestone that we're referring to as filling in the blanks. The goal of this milestone is to verify that our engine, tools, and processes are capable of supporting our gameplay and creative goals. The name comes from a simple version of PvP they'll be implementing first, a knockback-based game mode featuring weapons the team have been referring to as bonk sticks. Blonks will put us in a position to get back to fast iteration on our core gameplay, building off our successful combat playtests and minigame prototypes, and beginning the process of porting our creative play features over from our old engine. Porting isn't a term we've used to describe our development before. In video game development, porting typically refers to someone transitioning gameplay from one platform to another. In our case, we're in a hybrid stage. In some cases, we transition the active development of features from the legacy engine to the new one, and in other cases, we are porting near complete experience or content to the new engine. It means we have the potential to move fast, but our velocity also is less predictable. John also shares a new gameplay development process the team is taking, which he explains, "From now on, we expect gameplay development to follow a predictable pattern with 4 stages. These are: first playable, the first time a feature is usable for the new engine; first testable, the point where a feature is complete enough to test; alphas, features are ready for broader exposure but not feature complete; betas, features are complete but they may be buggy or have incomplete content." With that in mind, think of filling in the blanks as our first testable milestone for the new engine. This end-of-year milestone will represent the most functionally complete version of Hytale to date. Speaking of which, the Hytale team is showing us the first look at the new Hytale engine. The team begins with, "We're excited to share our first images from the new Hytale engine. Thomas Frick, Hytale's art director, has been working hard to validate that the new engine meets our expectations in terms of look and feel." Then Thomas explains, "We have spent years carefully crafting the Hytale art style. We have poured our passion and love for the genre into it, and we're grateful it was embraced by so many within the community, including artists and creators. It's been my mission to make sure we carry it across while changing engines, assuring that the visual identity that made millions of people buzz with excitement stays intact. We never aim to be pixel perfect when comparing the legacy engine to the new one. What we're trying to capture is the feel, the colors, and the vibe of places. We want to keep improving the visuals and unlock more great features over time. We are at a stage where a screenshot of the differences between the two engines are less evident to the untrained eye. We have progressed a lot on replicating texture, colorimetry, ambient inclusion, and shadows for different types of models, blocks, chests, flowers, leaves, etc. We've made a lot of progress on how sunlight travels and is occluded by terrain, and we're ready to start working on the next big things: improving shadows and lights, polishing long-distance features, improving our visual effects system for particles, working on fog, skybox, weather, trees, and foliage shading, etc. What this means for the team is that artists can effectively work on our new environment. This will exponentially ramp up our ability to build assets that go directly into the game. It is a big motivational impact on the entire team. Seeing clear signs of progress like this has a positive snowball effect. Next, the team reassures us that all these efforts are focused on getting Hytale back in front of players, both in the user research lab and beyond. Moving into the new year, we'll be able to focus on minigames and creative tools, moving quickly through the first 2 phases of development outlined above, as we pour over the progress from our legacy prototypes and playtests. The team continues to grow to ensure we're ready for the challenge. Here's our latest team photo from our yearly studio meetup, this time held in Dublin. Next, the team gives an insight into how they want to bring in creators to truly understand Hytale. To summarize, Buddhacat explains that since last year, Hytale's team has been engaging with a diverse range of creators to understand their needs and experiences better. These discussions have influenced design and product decisions, providing insights into the creators' challenges and expectations. The team will continue to involve more creators throughout 2024 to shape future creator programs. Recently, YouTuber Quebec Corner, a prominent community member, was invited to a team meetup where he gave a keynote presentation about the Hytale community. His presentation and a breakdown of the HyCon event are available on his YouTube channel. Lastly, the Hytale team gives us an update on the Scarak faction. They call it Rebuilding the Hive. The team begins by saying, this year the evolution of Orbis has marched ahead, particularly when it comes to the creatures and characters of our adventure world. As we said in our last dev update, we've revisited every faction to make sure that they have a clear purpose, deep connections to their world, and offering engaging gameplay to players. Here's former community artist turned invaluable team member Pebble and our narrative lead Chris to talk about the evolution of Scaraks. Chris begins with saying, Scaraks have been present in one form or another in every instance of Orbis' world building, and made an appearance in Hytale's launch trailer, as well as some screenshots and legacy concept art. We began the process of their redesign with a few goals in mind. First and foremost, we wanted to ensure that their visuals reflected their history and relationship with the world of Orbis. We also wanted to make sure that they were presented interesting gameplay opportunities to players in a variety of contexts. These 2 goals have been front of mind for every faction we've taken back to the drawing board, and at this point, that's all of them. Scarak presented some unique challenges and opportunities too. We wanted to ensure that Scarak encounters feel different to encounters with other kinds of giant bugs. We also wanted to put our own spin on the notion of an insect faction, playing into the tropes in some ways but subverting them into others. Pebble then follows up with, I knew when the task came up that preserving the successful elements of the legacy Scaraks was vital. We've had an amazing opportunity to reimagine and update our content with the production of our new engine. But Scaraks have their fans just as other factions do, and we'd be doing a disservice stripping that all away. Things like the insect non-humanoid silhouettes, the glowing blue bits, the antenna, and mandibles, you still see these elements coming through. We pulled the glowing blue from the egg sacs and eyes and made it a key feature of the faction, from their bodies to their hives, even as their source of nourishment. The otherwise grounded earth tones of their carapaces are offset by an ethereal cyan, glowing with an eerie energy. Chris then continues with, it was incredibly exciting to arrive at this new vision of Scaraks. In particular, the new focus on bioluminescence helped hammer home something that we'd been developing from a narrative and design perspective. Scaraks are not psychic, and they do not have a hive mind, in the sense you might expect. Instead, they communicate efficiently using light and gesture, just like some real insects do. They also have a highly ordered, hierarchical society forming a chain of command that allows for swift, sometimes uncanny feats of coordination. This can make them look psychic, but really what you're seeing is a sophisticated system at work. This is a very compelling from a design perspective, because it suggests lots of gameplay opportunities to explore, and crucially, it makes Scaraks feel really different from other forms of bug monster. They're intelligent, organized, noisy, and they glow in the dark. Next, the Scarak warrior seen here represents the culmination of a ton of work bringing together multiple disciplines to establish our quality bar and design language for this faction. It is not necessarily the model you'll see in-game, but it's the hero asset we'll be using to guide the development of all different Scarak forms you could see in the concept above, and any others you may want to build in the future. Lastly, Pebble closes with, working closely with our art director Thomas ensured I didn't go too far off track from the Hytale vibe when concepting the new designs. Constant collaboration with team members, whether it was other artists, the narrative team, or a certain bug-loving goblin in game design, kept me from wasting away in a personal bubble or letting my own biases pull the faction in a particular direction. Making sure Scaraks didn't just feel like bug-like, but alien adjacent was a clear goal from the beginning. This wasn't a mindless swarm of robots, but an entirely foreign intelligence with their own evolution, goals, and means of communication. They clearly inhabit Orbis, but their presence is still somewhat of a mystery for players, and we wanted that mystery to be front and center in their design. I can't wait for players to see the Scaraks and their fresh coat of paint. The best part of working on these factions is imagining how players will interact with and react to them, and further, how they will use them as foundations for their own creations. The team ends the blog post with, "We'll continue to share updates as we move through future milestones, from blog posts like this one and our series of technical explainers, to less formal communications like #AskHytale via Budakat's Twitter. You can expect us to share our progress when it comes to all the different bits and pieces that those goblins are so eagerly cobbling together." After a long period of refactoring, the wheels are starting to turn in earnest, and Hytale is beginning to come to life around us once again. We'll be back with more to share at the end of the year. In the meantime, we've got blanks to fill. And that wraps up today's Hytale news video. Did you guys enjoy today's video on the newest Hytale blog post? If so, please feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe with post notifications on, so you never miss another Hytale update. If you want instant Hytale updates, join our Hytale News Discord to get pinged whenever there is new Hytale content. You can also find us on Twitter at Hytale News YT, where you can get instant updates on all Hytale news. Anyways, this has been Ani. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.